So, a couple days ago, there was a tweet talking about turn-based RPGs that was making the rounds on Twitter. And I have been thinking about it a lot recently, and I wanted to share my thoughts on it in this video because I got a lot more to say about it than like 300 characters you get on Twitter. So here's the tweet in question I've been talking about. It's a comic that shows them creating a character in Baldur's Gate 3 for a couple hours, only to realize the game is turn-based, a style of game they apparently hate. I think this tweet alone is fine personally, I don't really care. But I think it was the next tweet they added that stoked the flames even more. They said, "Pokemon is my exception though, I will play those any day." And that got a lot of turn-based enjoyers very mad. Now, before I go into my thoughts about these tweets, I want to tell you what turn-based games I myself have played before, to give a baseline of how much knowledge I have on these games. I have played Persona 3, 4, and 5, like the true Persona fan I am, avoiding the first two. I have played Fire Emblem Fates, Three Houses, Engage, and a little bit of Awakening. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, Final Fantasy VII, Octopath Traveler 1, Dragon Quest XI, Undertale, half of SMT Nocturne, and like all of the Pokemon games. Even the different versions of the same game I've also played. Oh, and like 2 minutes of Honkai Star Rail, I guess. And also I'm currently playing Clair Obscur like the rest of the world is right now. Streaming it live on Twitch, twitch.tv/poppy64. Follow. So after playing all of those games, with pretty much most of them being in my top 10 games of all time, or at least close to my top 10, what are my thoughts on this tweet? I don't know, I kind of get where they're coming from. As someone who knows people like this also, I have heard their explanations as to why they only play Pokemon, so I have somewhat of an understanding as to why a person thinks like this. I think Pokemon has three main pulls to it that I think a lot of the turn-based bros are not getting when they flame this person. The first and biggest one, I think, is this guy. And this one too. Also him, I guess. And all these other ones. Except that guy. Kill that fucking guy. The cute little critters that are Pokemon are most definitely the biggest selling factor of these games. People just like being able to collect cute or cool or ugly little fellas to go on adventures with. And I know there's a lot of other creature collection games. Hell, Pokemon wasn't even the first to do this. It was Dragon Quest V. But be for real. Do you want this thing or this thing? Come on now. Not hating on Dragon Quest or the other creature collection games, but I just think Pokemon are the best looking creatures to me personally, and as do a lot of other people. Second big reason why Pokemon is still around is nostalgia. A lot of people who play Pokemon to this day are people who grew up playing this on their DS or Game Boy in the back of their car, experiencing the whimsy for the first time. Any person that's getting into Pokemon now, 9 times out of 10 are a child or a teenager. Pokemon feels like a series you either grew up with as a kid or you just never get into at all. I'm obviously not saying nostalgia does all the legwork, but it does a very good amount. Hell, people still say gold and silver are better than red and blue. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Johto was ass. And who knows? This could be nostalgia talking having me defend red and blue, because I did play those as a kid, versus gold and silver where I only got to play once I was 20 and finally got a PC to emulate. I mean, to legally purchase a Nintendo-made copy of Gold and Silver at my local GameStop for $200. But anyway, yeah, I just don't get the love for Gold and Silver. Mid-region, decent gen of Pokemon, horribly designed level curve, and you barely even play in Johto. You're mainly in Kanto anyways. Johto is literally the definition of "we got Oro." That's it. And this isn't even me saying red and blue are good games either. I don't think they're good either. And the fact that people still sit there and say that Pokemon peaked at Gen 1 should tell you how much nostalgia really does play into Pokemon. And I think the third and last reason why they're so popular is they're simple. While I think the simplicity turns off someone who is more into turn-based games, that simplicity is what draws in newer and older Pokemon fans. Newer fans are greeted with a semi-convoluted type chart that I think if you just study for like 20 minutes, you'll get the hang of pretty easily. And older fans that are used to that type chart and the bareness of the games, that switching to other games just feels like too much work since they have to learn new systems and a new chart. Also, with that simplicity comes with how easy these games are. Pokemon games are made for babies in mind, so it's very hard for someone to struggle unless you just autopilot or don't pay attention at all. I think the truly last challenging Pokemon games were Sun and Moon, and after that, they've just been baby food. Now, I did say in the beginning that I did get where these people are coming from, but that doesn't mean I really agree with them either. While Pokemon is very fun and has its cute little critters, while also letting you not have to really use your brain at all, I think these games do get very exhausting after a while. I personally cannot play Pokemon anymore without using speed up at least here or there. You could chalk that up to me playing every Pokemon game at least twice at this point, but I just think Pokemon's gameplay loop has gotten very stale. And I've always just been personally a guy who enjoys collecting the little guys more than making them fight anyway. It's why Legends Arceus has become my favorite Pokemon game, because its focus is more on the creature collection than the battling. But I do wish I could enjoy the combat of these games a little bit more now. But thankfully, with Legends ZA, it's going in a completely different turn, going for a combat style similar to Xenoblade. So hopefully that combat will keep me entertained versus how it's been now. I just think every other turn-based game I've played combat-wise is leaps and bounds ahead of Pokemon in terms of entertainment and keeping my attention. Persona, Octopath, and Fire Emblem are all games I have yet to get tired of. From Persona's flash and style and cool mechanics like One More, or being able to recruit the monsters as Personas. Octopath's AP system and the more in-depth combat. Or Fire Emblem's chess-like gameplay, where you have to make sure you place the right units in the right place, while also paying attention to stuff like how terrain will affect your attacks. Also, these games come with a story to actually pay attention to and keep you hooked in. Pokemon has had like 2 good stories, and it was Black and White and Sun and Moon, and like just the Area Zero stuff of Scarlet and Violet, but that's really it. This series has 9 total games in it, and the fact that only 2 of them keep me entertained is kind of bad. Legends Arceus, which by the way, like I said, is my favorite Pokemon game, I don't really remember much of the story. I just know you're from the present day, dropping into the past, and you gotta stop the alphas from getting frenzied because God. Emerald, which is my second favorite game, is just about 2 men who want more land and water. Like, I just want something to tickle my brain even a little bit. Come on, Pokemon, damn. I just wish people who say this would at least give one other game a try, because while I understand turn-based games a lot of the time can just be boiled down to bloated chess, they just do everything better than Pokemon, besides the critters. If you right now are watching this and are of this opinion, I have a couple recommendations for you to try at least. I think these specific turn-based RPGs I'm recommending are more action-based and have you interact with the game more. Games like Clair Obscur, Mario and Luigi, Paper Mario, and Undertale, that have you do reactions to evade damage or do damage. I think these type of RPGs most definitely need to become the standard. They're more entertaining and rewarding, since it's more reliant on you winning the battle, since you have to hit dodges and parries, and it's not random. Same with your attacks, you have control of how much damage or no damage you do. I think if you're a Pokemon only guy, you should definitely give them a try. Obviously these games miss the creature collection aspect, but I think if you're a Pokemon fan, I can't really convince you to switch to something like Digimon or Dragon Quest V, since you probably already love the designs of Pokemon way too much to switch to another type of game like that. Alright guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, appreciate y'all. I don't know if I do a video like this again. This kind of just happened abruptly. I just woke up and was like, I kind of want to make a video about this, since I was thinking about it for a couple days now. But who knows, if I have a topic that I want to talk about again, I'll most definitely probably make a video about it. But yeah, if you want to hit the like button, subscribe. Most of my content boils down to just making highlights of my streams. If you want to follow my streams, twitch.tv/poppy64, follow. And yeah, leave some comments down below if you got any more recommendations for any type of people like that, because I don't think my recommendations are perfect, but I think they're about as good as you can get, because like I said, I don't think Digimon or Dragon Quest V are going to work with these guys, but something that's more like enthralling of an RPG I think would work with them. But yeah, goodbye chat, goodbye.